The cost of living crisis is real, but if you think that's the only reason you're struggling, you're setting yourself up to stay stuck. And that's the part nobody really wants to hear, because it's way easier to point at the economy than it is to look at your own behaviour. And don't get it twisted, things are more expensive. Rent is up, food is up, wages haven't kept pace for a lot of people, and it genuinely feels like you're running just to stay in the same place. That part is real. But here's where the conversation usually stops, and that's the problem. Because every few years there's always been some kind of crisis. Recessions, inflation spikes, market crashes. This isn't new. And yet during every single one of those periods, there were still people building wealth, increasing their income, and improving their situation. So what's the difference? Because it can't just be the environment. If it was purely external, everyone would be equally stuck. And clearly that's not the case. The uncomfortable truth is that blaming everything on the economy might feel accurate, but it also removes your leverage. Because if the problem is completely outside of you, then the solution is outside of you too. You just wait. You hope things improve, you survive. And that mindset, more than anything, is what keeps people in the exact same position, year after year. Meanwhile, other people in the same environment are doing something different. They're not ignoring reality, they're responding to it. They're increasing their earning ability, learning skills that actually pay, finding ways to generate income beyond just one source, using the internet as a tool instead of just a distraction. And no, that doesn't mean they have it easy or that everyone can become rich overnight. That's not the point. The point is they're moving while others are stuck. And a lot of that comes down to how people deal with pressure. Most people escape it. More scrolling, more distractions, more time spent consuming things that make them feel temporarily better, but do nothing to improve their situation. It's understandable, but it's also costly, because every hour spent avoiding the problem is an hour not spent building a solution. Over time, that adds up, and that's where the gap starts to form. Not from some huge breakthrough, but from small decisions repeated daily. You don't need to become some hyper-disciplined machine overnight. You don't need a perfect plan. But you do need to recognize that even in a bad economy, there are still variables you control. Your time, your attention, your habits, your willingness to learn something new or try something uncomfortable. Those things don't feel powerful in the moment, but they compound in a way most people underestimate. If you spend your evenings building something instead of consuming, that matters. If you take even small steps to increase your value, learning a skill, improving how you work, being more intentional with your money, that matters. And if you don't, that also matters. Because doing nothing is still a decision. Staying where you are is still a direction. The people who move forward aren't the ones waiting for perfect conditions. They're the ones who accept that things are hard and adjust anyway. They cut back where they can, they get more intentional with how they use their time, and they stop pretending that small habits don't matter. And over time, that creates separation. Not instantly, not dramatically, but slowly and consistently. Because the real trap isn't the cost of living crisis, it's the belief that you're powerless inside it. That belief kills initiative. It kills creativity. It kills momentum before it even starts. And once that's gone, nothing changes, even if external conditions improve. So yeah, things are expensive. It's harder than it used to be. But if you use that as your only explanation, you're also using it as your excuse. And excuses feel good in the moment, but they're expensive long term. The better question isn't, why is everything so hard? It's, what am I actually doing about it? Because the moment you shift from blame to ownership, even slightly, you get your leverage back. And once you have leverage, you can start moving. Slowly, imperfectly, but forward. And right now, that's what separates people more than anything else.